Well, hello, viewers. This is something new that I'm trying just for fun. Given the times of COVID and the world that we live in, where we're under quarantine and under lock and key, and the world is canceled, I figured it would be kind of fun to dabble in the world of streaming and see if I can't earn a little bit to give to some local food banks because, let's face it, everybody could use a little help every now and then. So, what I'm trying to do is take some of the knowledge that I've accumulated being a fan of Minecraft and Hermitcraft and just turn it into a little bit of fun and hopefully in a way that can help other people. So, what we're going to do is we're just going to start a new world here and just regular single player, create new world, nothing fancy. Normal. We'll do hard. Survival world. And let's try this out and see what happens. So, world generation, if you don't know how this works, this generates the spawn chunks in the initial sections where you will generate when you first start and just basically give you a fresh Minecraft world to go into. I'm not playing with any restrictions, so this means that it's going to generate all the way to the world border, which is quite a bit. I generally play vanilla, which is why this looks pretty general. I do play with a couple of mods. Up in the right-hand corner, you can see voxel map, which I do enjoy. And the reason behind that is it's just not really that fun to write down coordinates and where you're going. So largely what I use it for is waypoints. However, right now it does have the radar enabled, since this is a new world, and this is something that I'm going to turn off because that's a little too cheaty for me. So we'll go into the options, and under radar, we will show neutrals and we will not show hostiles. So, but you can see as I go in, it will only show the areas around here and the radar that I have and the general rendering that I have by the number of chunks. So it's just nice in that it shows you where you are and you can see a bit of information, but it's nothing more that you couldn't see by creating a map or really just running around the area or finding a tall mountain, quite honestly. It makes things more convenient because I can set waypoints and it does really nice things like show you where you died, because that will happen. So all that we're going to be doing here is just getting the basics set up. Right now, for whatever reason, punching trees gives you logs. Steve, the Minecraft character, or Alex, will be equal opportunists here, can punch trees so hard that they turn into logs. Like, Minecraft is not exactly about realism, and suspension of disbelief exists for a reason. But so what we'll do is we'll go through here, we'll create a crafting table, create our first set of tools, and then, once that's done, we will do some basic mining. So, a crafting table, you start with a normal 2x2, and you can put a plank in each one to create a crafting table, which gives you access to the more standard 3x3. And what we'll do is we'll make some sticks, and then we will wait for it to update to actually get the new things. We will make an axe, and we'll make a very simple pick, and this we will use to try and see if there's any stone nearby, which there's not. So we'll also make a shovel, because these are all handy, but we'll get rid of these tools almost instantly. So this is a pretty good spot. There's a nice flat area over here, so we'll just start digging down until we hit stone, and this will start to be the beginning of our first mine. And there's stone. Switch to the pickaxe, and there we go, Stone Age enchantment. And what I'm doing here is we're basically looking to move to the next level, which is going to be stone tools, then iron tools, and then after that, diamond. But we're not really going to rush. This is going to be more of a leisurely game playthrough, where I'll just talk about the basics, and if this helps you learn something, then I'm happy. Otherwise, I hope it's at least mildly entertaining, that you can hear me prattle on. And that's enough stone, so what we'll do is we'll zip back up here, and we will create a pickaxe, and we'll also create a furnace, because what we want to do as well is we want to be able to get more stone, and we also want to start creating charcoal. And you need charcoal in order to get torches. You can also get regular coal, but you have to mine for regular coal, and I can just put these trees in the furnace right now and generate charcoal, and that means I don't have to explore in the dark, which is never fun. So you need to put the logs in, and that's a creeper! Well, that was an interesting way to start. I don't know how a creeper generated, since basically we haven't had night yet, but that was a creeper. Creepers are the bane of everyone's existence in Minecraft because they sneak up on you and they explode. And as you noticed, I almost didn't get away in time, so took a little damage. That was very unplanned, but we'll get back to where we were. Put a couple of planks in there, and let's take our stone and pickaxe, and we'll go down here and we'll do a little bit more mining. I don't want to go too far down because it's already getting pretty dark, the dark, whenever it's in the dark, you end up getting mobs like that creeper. Other common mobs are skeletons and zombies, and here's iron, so this was nice and fast. We got very lucky that we came across iron pretty quickly. So all we're going to do is basically go through and we'll smelt this and we'll get iron tools very fast. So this so far has been fairly lucky. Normally I have to dig down pretty far, and there have been a couple of times when I've actually encountered diamonds before I've encountered iron. That's very rare, but it can happen, just like anything can in a long enough timeline. In a long enough timeline, I'm even funny. Alright, so that was good timing. So we'll do this, and we have some sticks, and we have some charcoal, so that will let us build torches. And while that iron is smelting, we'll go down, and we'll put a couple torches in our tunnel here, so that we don't get any other surprises. Anywhere that the light level is 7 or below, torches generally put out a light level. If you hit the debug screen, which is F3, you can look at it, and over in the section over here where it says client light, you can see what the current light level is. This is also one of the other mods that I run, which is very handy, which will show you what the light level is when you hit the specific key. So down here where it's red and it says it's 7, this means that monsters could spawn here. But if I put a torch, it all goes away and everything is fine again. But we don't keep that on all the time. It's generally only for monster-proofing something. When we build a base, we'll do a bit of that, and also any time that we build farms, which is one of my favorite things to do in this game, then we'll go through and you'll see us going, like, doing light levels and doing things that are otherwise monster-proofing or mob. Mob just means mobile. It's an older term, but everybody uses it, and most people don't remember why. So anytime that we're doing spawn proofing. We'll just call it spawn proofing because that's what most people call it anyway. You want to make sure that anything that you do will make it so that mobs cannot spawn in the immediate area around you, because if they're close enough to you, they will track like that creeper did and just come out of nowhere, and then they will try and eat your face. And I don't know about you, but I like having my face not eaten. I prefer it to be on my head where it belongs and not in somebody else's belly. So what we're doing now is we're trying to gather up some seeds. Eventually we're going to need a source of food, and one of the best ways to do that is cows and steak. And I'll get out of the debug screen because we don't need to see that. Also, they are a good source because cows have leather, and eventually what we're going to need is some books. And I don't think we'll get to that today because that's fairly distant from now, and we'll also need sugarcane, and I don't see any of that in the immediate vicinity, so we'll have to go exploring in order to find it. But when I go through here, when you break wheat has a small chance, I think it's like 1 in 10 or 1 in 15, of turning into seeds, which you see me pick up some of them. They are these things. And if you plant seeds, then you can grow wheat, and wheat can be turned into bread or fed to cows to breed them to get more cows. And that's basically what we're going to want to do. We're going to want to get enough to create a cow farm. Oh wow, we got a natural generating cave down here that I didn't even notice. And you can hear the bat noises, which is why I was looking around. So let's take a quick peek in there and see if there's anything good. before we go back. And this also, again, is why we need torches. Because I'll guarantee you there's some baddies in here, and we don't even have a sword yet. But maybe there's nothing. No. A small cave. But we do have some iron. So we'll take that. We'll take more iron. Until we get an iron farm, it's hard to have too much iron. Okay. And that was it, right? Yeah. Don't see anything else. But that's a nice little gift, so we won't look a gift bat in the mouth. Okay. So, because we don't... Actually, we do have enough iron to have a bucket. So, what we will do is finish knocking down all this and get all the seeds we can. And that's probably enough. Alright, so we've got some iron. And you see when we took that out of the furnace, we got some experience too. We'll talk about experience later, because it's not that important right now. But we'll get a bucket, because that is one of the first things that I like to get. And grab some water. And we'll make a little farm right here. Basically, most things, not all, most things in Minecraft need water in order to grow. And they will grow without it, but they'll grow much faster with it. Some things like sugarcane need to be planted directly against water, or else you can't plant them at all. So there's things that are different, and when we get into more specific farms, we'll cover that. Unfortunately, right now the sun is going down, which is why the light is changing and it's getting darker, which means that we're about to get visits from monsters, which is not great because A, we don't have a sword, and B, we don't have a bed yet. That creeper set us back a little bit. Speedrunners are spinning in their graves right now. There are many, many graves from all the speedruns. So you see we've planted a decent amount. The other thing that is important to note is that crops need light. So we want to make sure that we plant enough torches here, in order to light up the area so that the crops will continue to grow even through the evening. Especially since we can't sleep. So we'll pick up these last few. And then what we'll do is we'll go into the mine, because mining is generally a safe way to spend the night. I would really like some food, but I don't think that's going to happen. Unless we got lucky and got an apple. Nope. Into the mine we go. Which is fine. As long as we don't really run or anything, we won't have to worry too much, although we only have a couple of torches, so this might be a get down to this area and then fan out. Ah, good, perfect. So this is coal, which is the other thing to charcoal. They're basically the same, with the exception that you can't make charcoal blocks. You can only make coal blocks, which would be 9 coal will make a coal block, and coal blocks can burn more items than individual pieces of coal, which is only important if you start having things with redstone, which we'll also get into later. But it also makes a nice decorative block, especially with the 1.16 changes that happened with Blackstone. So what we're doing right now is we'll just harvest this, and I'm just going until I break the tool, because we don't have a lot of tools right now. And also I think I threw all the wood in the furnace, which was not the brightest of ideas, so we might be zipping back up to grab that and come back down again. So while I'm farming, we'll talk a little bit about health and hunger, which are the two things down here. This is your health and this is your hunger. Activities like mining or running or getting injured and healing, all these things drain your hunger. They make you hungry. And when you're playing on hard difficulty, which we are, if your hunger completely depletes down to 0, you will start taking damage. And once you take enough damage, you will starve to death. So it's a good thing to not do. And there we go. That was expected. So that's what happens when your tools break. So what we're trying to do, and why we keep going down, is we're trying to get down to Y level 10. The game goes from 0, which is the end of the bottom of the world, and that's usually where bedrock is. And bedrock is an unbreakable block, unless you know what you're doing, and you use what are effectively exploits in order to break a single piece of it. And we'll definitely be doing that later, but that's much, much further from now. So, but diamonds, which is one of the best ways to get tools in the game, start to generate at Y level 15. And if you're not running this map mod, like I am, you can see that again in the debug screen. You can see XYZ, where it's X and Z are the Cartesian coordinates. So it would be if you were looking down on a map like this, looking down on the map, you can see the X and the Z coordinates changing, and that tells you where you are in the world. And then the Y is your up and your down, because this is a three-dimensional game. So we're trying to get down to a point in the world where diamonds will start to generate, so that we can find some and make some diamond tools. And I think that's probably where we'll stop for today, because that is a good thing to get to. That's a good accomplishment. It's not that hard. Oh, actually good. We can make a couple more torches, which is excellent. Alright. So we'll go back up and we'll grab some wood. We've got enough. Let's get some more sticks, and let's make 2 picks this time by going and finding the iron pickaxe and holding shift and clicking, and then we can just take 2. So we have 2 picks, we have a sword, and we have a shovel. We're also going to go and kill this pig, because pork chops are delicious, at least virtual pork chops. Alright, so we've got some cooked food. So we have some cooked fish, so we can go through and eat this. And you'll see it restores our hunger bar. Not a tremendous amount. Fish does not really satiate the hunger bar. The really good foods are cooked pork, cooked steak, and eventually golden carrots when we get there. But that's a ways away unless we get lucky and find a village early. So while we're waiting, we'll make some more torches. That should be plenty. And what we should also do is we should make a shield, because shields are very handy when you keep it in your offhand. And I'm using a data pack here because I like to have the maximum on my screen. So if you play the game, you'll notice your shield will be much more front and center here. I like having mine out of the way so that I have more real estate. But if you hold your right mouse button when you have a weapon equipped, it will put up your shield, and shields can block things like arrows. Like we'll go over and see the skeleton, and we'll get our first advancement in the game, and that's a spider. Spiders are aggressive at night, and they are passive during the day. They'll only attack if you attack them first, and the sun is coming up. So watch this. We'll get our first advancement right there, or our second one actually, because we got the CD place one. But so we block the arrow with our shield, and then we attack. And this gives us, you can see now that since it's daytime, the mobs are burning in the sunlight, which is good. We like that, because that means that we have more time to do stuff during the day now. We've made it through our first evening. So let's get out of debug. I tend to leave that up too much. So now that it's day, what we will do is we will make a set of shears, and we will go off and try and find ourselves some sheep. I can see some on my mini-map over here, which is, admittedly, it's a little bit cheaty, but, oh, and there's a bee. Bees are things where you can do honey and honeycombs, and so we'll talk about them later, because I really like bees. I think they were a great addition to the game in the previous update in the 1.15. But we are now playing in 1.16, which is the Nether update, and we'll be getting to the Nether relatively soon, because there's a lot of really good stuff that you can get out of there even early in the game. Alright, so awesome. So we got enough wood to make ourselves a bed, and this will give us... Bed serves a couple of different functions, but we don't have enough wood, so time to go through and axe down a couple more trees. And you can very quickly see that our storage is getting, our inventory is getting a little out of control. But, alrighty. So that's enough for now. We'll clean up that tree later, but we can go through and make some more wood. And we're going to make ourselves a bed. And you place your bed and right click on it, and you see respawn point set down here. And basically, if you die, this is now where you will respawn. You also can immediately go through the night and sleep from, turn it from night until day. That's pretty much instantaneous. It's maybe 5 seconds in order to do it, and you don't have to worry. You don't have to be protected throughout the night. It just immediately skips the evening and goes to the next day without any intermediary time occurring. That was one thing I didn't know. I used to build myself a house so that I would be totally safe throughout the evening, thinking that zombies would attack me in my sleep, and that was never going to happen. So, okay. Excellent. Alright, we're good. We've got some food. We're at full health. We've got a shield. Let's go and find ourselves some diamonds, and hopefully 2 iron picks will be enough in order to do that. If I'm going to turn this into a full-scale mine that I use a lot, then what I'll do is I'll knock out the... You see I keep banging my head as I'm going in, whereas if I knock down these, it's a lot smoother. And we'll also replace those with stairs. But this is, since we're in the spawn chunk right now, which is where the world generation epicenter is, then it's not the best place in order to build your base for a number of reasons. The spawn chunks are always loaded. They cannot be unloaded. And there's some reasons why we would want things to not be loaded all the time. There may be some, like for example, we'll probably build an iron farm here just because it's handy to have that always running. But some things generate lag on the server, and because of that, you only want it running when you actually need it. Okay, so we are coming up on our goal, which is right here at Y10. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start digging a straight line. And this is our first redstone. Redstone is automation in Minecraft. So it is a source of power, and it is also a source of making other components that allow you to do automation. For example, you can craft things which are called observers, which can sense block changes, and they can trigger based on those state changes. Like for example, if I broke a block, the observer could see that that block was broken, and it would output a signal. And basically, this is the foundation of all automation within Minecraft, of which there is quite a bit. And we'll definitely get into that, because, as I said, building farms is my favorite thing in this game, and I like it a lot. One thing to jump in here is that you'll see we came across a natural cave. So this is not that uncommon. A lot of times when you're doing this kind of mining, which is branch mining, you'll come across these naturally generated structures, and generally these are good things because it lets you get exposed to a lot more blocks without having to dig through them. However, there can be some much more dangerous things in here, such as lavas and creepers coming at you from a higher Y level, or death from above, because they can literally hit the ground and explode before you can react. Which is very sad. So you see here a natural thing of what happens when water hits lava. Lava is not your friend, lava is death. It creates obsidian. And obsidian is a nice block for a number of reasons. I was going to get that source, but it's too far away. Both because it has an extremely high what's called blast resistance, which means it's hard to destroy it. So that can be very handy in building some farms and building protections and such like that. But also, it's what we need to make a portal to the Nether. And we're not going to do anything about that right now, because, quite frankly, it takes forever to mine when you have iron tools. But we are going to go through and get some of the stuff in here, and that's about it. I just wanted to let you folks know about this naturally spawned cave. And here we are, our first diamonds that we found in this world. So let's go through and mine these, and you'll see we get another advancement. And this 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a reasonably sized vein. They cap out at 8, so that's pretty good. So you may have noticed that during the brief time lapse, because unfortunately beginning of it did not record, that not only did we have to go through and make another set of picks, but we also had to stop and start smelting iron because we just ran out, straight up ran out. So we're going to leave these tools here because we've got more than enough materials in order to make more stuff, and head back up to the surface and make our tools. And you'll notice here what we did was actually called branch mining. We went down here to a specific area, and then we turned around and came back. This is branches because it's like branches of a tree. And the advantage of doing it this way is that you end up getting full coverage at a total Y level, because so what I'll do is I'll go all the way down and then skip 2 and go all the way down. So on this side I can see this block, and on this side I can see this block. So it lets me cover the entire thing without digging all of it out, which eventually we may do, but that's not going to be for quite a while because we will need something, enchantments to our tools, and we will also need a beacon. And we will talk about those things much later because enchantments will require some cows, as we talked about before, because we'll need to get paper and make books and everything, and that will definitely be covered in a later episode. Beacons are much further away than that. So as we head back up here, luckily it's daytime, but still have to worry about creepers, so it's good to come up and look around for a minute and make sure that you're safe. So let's go through, and what we're also going to do is we're going to make a chest, because it'll be good to put all our stuff in there. So chests just give you a greater inventory. It's the same as your normal inventory. What you can also do is, we don't have enough wood to do it right now, so let's go and hack a couple more trees down so that we can get the wood. But what you can do is you can put 2 chests side by side, and it will create one double chest that has twice as many inventory slots. And this is the beginning of storage within Minecraft, which is kind of its own mini boss. You'll hear people talking about the chest monster as their inventories get out of control, and I guarantee you will see that here, because I do it too. What you can do is a number of things. You can either click and drag an item and put it in a slot. You can hold shift and click, and that will put the item directly in, so you can go through and click that. What you can also do is, if you are hovering over an item and you shift click, it'll put all items of that type, or sorry, double click, it'll put all items of that type within the chest. Or what you can do is, if you just want everything, and you hold control shift and click, and it will dump everything from your inventory into the chest. And we don't want to do that. We have some stuff that we want to keep, including our diamonds, and we need to punch down some more trees because we used all of our wood in order to make chests, to talk about how bad I am at chest management. So we'll just knock down this tree, and we will make some sticks, and we will make a diamond pickaxe, because that generally is the tool that is the most helpful at this stage of the game. So that diamond pickaxe, and there we are. We have our first diamond pickaxe of the game. So let's go through, and we will smelt the remainder of the iron that we gathered, which is now coming up on just about a full stack. We also collected some gold, a bunch of redstone, and a bunch of coal. So that is not bad for our first session here. So I think we'll call it there. Make sure that we are respawned in the correct place, and thank you for watching. I am Hugs, or OverHugs, And just want to take a minute to remind you to be kind to other people in this time. COVID's hitting everybody pretty hard, and we can all do a little better with taking care of our fellow man. And a reminder, if you found any of this interesting, or I amused you enough in order to watch again, please like, subscribe, and preferably ring that bell so that you can be alerted the next time that I put out a new video. And tell your friends, because as a reminder, anything that I profit off of this is going to go to my local food banks. I want to use this to do some good in the world. So I hope you have a fantastic day or evening, wherever this is and whatever time it is in your location. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.